Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Sam and Happy New Year to everyone. And I would like to share an update of my orchids that I'm growing indoor. And want to show you some that I have here growing in my apartment. And they are full-time here, 24 hours inside this room. Okay, first I would like to let you know that I have about 32 Phalaenopsis orchids that are inside this room here. And the very first one that I'm going to show you is a species orchid. It is a Sanderiana orchid that I purchased last year around February. And this plant was a small tiny little plant when I got her, and now she is doing very well with those shiny leaves and putting out new healthy roots. And this plant is growing in a glass vase, and if you can see, there's a lot of roots growing in there. And the plant is the media that I use for this plant are composed of lava rock and I think charcoal. Next, alright, so anyway, because there's a lot of them here, this is a table that I have here, and on this table I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 orchids, and 5 of them are Phalaenopsis orchid. Alright, next to my Sanderiana are 2 Soguyukirin orchid. And my cat heard me again talking, so let's see, she's here. And the very first one, it hasn't bloomed for me for a few years now, and it's also a hybrid. Well, it's growing so well. It has a lot of roots right there. And the next one, it is a new one. I think this one I have it for about a year or 2 or 3. Can't remember, but this one bloomed for me last year. And the newest one, it gave me a spike right away. This, I got it around, I forgot the month, but I got this only last year as a, what you call it, a discounted orchid. And it has a main spike right there and one secondary spike. Alright, so next to those Phalaenopsis orchid are my Dendrobium and Osmium. I have 2 here. These are babies from my mother plant, and I decided to grow them in this method as well, and so far they are doing good. And I have these 2 discounted Dendrobium denphals, and these will be my first 2 phals that are white. I just got this around December last year. Can you imagine? That's already last year. And I have this container here with my 2, I know there's 3 miniature Phalaenopsis orchids, and these three, they give me blooms all the time, but so far I cannot see any spike coming out from these three. And on the foreground I have my Dendrobium orchids. This one is a large type. It's a tall type of Denphal, and it has not bloomed for me. It bloomed for me like about 2 years ago. I even brought this plant to our orchid society when it bloomed, but after that it did not bloom again. But overall, I guess this plant is healthy with just some discoloration on the leaves. Something is wrong with this plant, but it looks healthy to me. And this one here, next to it, it's another Denphal and one of the Cane's Iron Spike. And I guess the spike has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little buds, and this one is a healthy plant as well. And as you can see, most of my plants are growing in glass vases. Alright, so this plant already bloomed for me last year, and this is the next bloom. And the next one are my Latoriate kind of Dendrobium. I got it about a year or two, and the tag disappeared. I don't know where it go, but it says this is a green flowering Dendrobium, and it's also growing in a glass vase. The next one, I repotted this just last week, and according to the tag, it is a purple looking Latoriate Dendrobium orchid. And I repotted this plant in a plastic container, and I put holes under. I decided to take it out from its glass vase because I think the plant has grown so many canes that it's hard for me to turn it over every time I have to remove the water. And next to that, another plant that is removed from the glass container, because anyway it's a little tiny plant, little tiny, not medium size, Dendrobium phalaenopsis, and it's also planted in a plastic cup without, it's not a plastic cup, it's a plastic container, daily plastic container with no holes under, and I use clay pellets for this. This one used to be in I think it's an 8-inch cylinder container, and I took them off because I think the container is too big for this plant. And this one has bloomed for me a few years back, but it never bloomed again. And on the windowsill, as you can see, are other Denphals that I have. Okay, some of them are doing well and some of them are not. This is a division here. I took it out from the mother plant because most of the canes are leafless. And this one, I took it out from the mother cane as well because the mother cane, I think, died. And this, next to that, is another Denphal that hasn't bloomed for me, and it's putting out 1, 2, 3 new canes, and it suffered a lot of spider mite infestation. And next to it, is another phal that just bloomed for me, that lasted for about 3 months, and I decided to put there on that windowsill. Next to it is another den phal that I haven't seen how the bloom look like, and it's also a division. And next to them is the new purchase that I got last year, yesterday. And the blooms hasn't perked up yet. I think I need to soak that again. And next to them are my species orchid. There's two of them here. This is a Celeriana. This plant, I got it like around, let's put it down here. Around July this year, or last year I should say. And so far it is doing well. It is planted in a bowl-like container. And the media for this plant that I use lava rock and what is this? Charcoal. Let's move on to the next one. I have my Philippinensis. Let's see. Alright, there it is. This plant is doing well. This is an acquisition last year around February together with my Sanderiana, and she is looking healthy. Look at those bright shiny leaves. Alright, so let's put it back there by the windowsill. And some other Phalaenopsis that are not doing great. There's one, two that is sick, together with my Sanderiana there, and it is not doing well. Alright, let's look at some of the sick phals that they are used to be sick, but now they are doing great. Look at that. This used to be a regular size Phalaenopsis orchid, and it suffered root rot, and the big leaves turn into small one. The big leaves fall off, and they were replaced by smaller leaves. And however, as you can see, the plant is now in great shape. And there's 3 of them. Let me take the other 2. Alright. These were sick orchids that I have, and now they are doing great. I should say they're doing great because they started to put out new roots right there, and put out new leaves, smaller leaves, but as you can see, the new leaves that are coming out are larger in comparison with the base leaves that they have. These are regular size orchids. They just turned into miniature because they almost died, and they came back to life. No, they did not actually came back to life. They did not actually come back to life. They survived instead of dying. And let's look at my 6 Sanderiana that I paid $35 for. I paid $35 for this one, and it was healthy when I got it around July. And now one more leaf is about to come off, and hopefully this will come back to a healthy state again. Alright, so overall I have 3 sick phalaenopsis out there and 3 phalaenopsis that survived from dying. And then on this TV here, an old TV, on top of this TV I have this denfal that is still in bloom. Look at that. It's super lasting blooms. And next to my denfal is another denfal. This is a large type, tall denfals. And this one is a medium-sized denfal. And this one has nice colored petals and sepals. It's yellow-green, and the lip is kind of brown, orangey brown, with some veins and lines on the lip. And next to that are my Dendrobium anosmum kikis. I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm planning to give this away. And this one is a tiny denfal growing in a pot. I don't know what do you call these kinds of pots. It doesn't come into my head right away. Oh, I'm forgetful. And it has only one beautiful cane. And another Dendrobium anosmum that I took out from its container because it's not doing well. So right now it's in water culture. And next to that is another denfal growing in this kind of container. Oh well, my video is getting super long. So to make it short, the rest are other Phalaenopsis orchid that I have here. And they're all doing well, and all of them are planted in glass containers, and most of them has not bloomed for me for a few years now. And at the moment they are growing under CFL light, and they're exposed to this kind of light for about 12 hours a day. And the other one that is in spike, there's one with 2 secondary spikes there. Above this is a shelf that I made right there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Phalaenopsis orchid, and this one is the first time growing for me, but I know how the bloom looked like because I think I got this from a discount rack, and so this plant is discounted, and it is a white miniature Phalaenopsis orchid. And I have here another Latoriate orchid type, and it's also doing great. The leaves turned yellow because I exposed this outside before, hoping that it will bloom for me. So it did not. So it went back inside. And behind that is another tall Dendrobium denfal, and another one. And another denfal here, And another miniature, it's no longer a miniature, Phalaenopsis orchid. And my Nodosa right here, it's still in bloom. It gives me a nice smelling room at night when all the lights are off. And still pretty. It's long lasting. It lasted for several weeks now. And let's see my new acquisition there. It is a Angraecum right there. And the last one I want to show you is my Solariana orchid. I purchased this around July, and this plant was a tiny one. And it's super pretty. Look at those patterns on the leaf. It's a mottled leaf, silvery. It's a silvery green leaf. And at the moment, the plant is spiking. And it's getting longer and longer every single day. The buds are not yet very obvious, but it's in spike. And I'm so proud of myself that I was able to make this plant grow under my condition here. And if you notice, look, it has a lot of healthy roots as well. So there you go, guys. I showed you my room. So in this room I just have mostly Phalaenopsis and Danphals. And my Cattleyas and Vandas, they're currently outside. They only come in when the temperature drops below 40 degrees. So there you go, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. So this is my first video for the year, and together with my cat who wants to be in the video as well, would like to greet you a happy and a prosperous 2020. So thank you guys for watching my channel. Happy New Year. And before I let you go, I just want to show you that there is, what do you call that, hope for Phalaenopsis orchids that are sick and losing their leaves. Look at that, they're back to healthy state. Happy New Year, and thank you so much. Bye.